Good morning, everybody. Excuse me. Well, let's see. On Sunday, Chuck came over and we finished up his motor project, the 96 to 103 with the used pistons and the used jugs. We cleaned the jugs up, new rings. I thought I would try, instead of putting the piston, maybe I'm wrong, I was just thinking ahead. I think it worked, putting the piston in the jug on the bench, upside down, putting it in where I had room to work to get those rings down in. Then we had to push the piston up in the jug, set it, because you can't have the piston hanging out and get it past those long bolts. I think they call them torsion bolts. I'm not really sure. There's a word for it. But so we pushed up the piston so it disappeared in the jug, set it over, then pulled it back out without pulling the ring, getting it close to that oil ring. And then that way we put the piston wrist pin through the piston rod and through the two spots it goes through in the piston, and then pushed it and pushed this down. So I thought it might be better than trying to do it and push the piston up into the jug when it's here. I do that, I've done that when I want to just leave the piston in the jug. So I will take the wrist pin out, and that way I don't have to re-ring anything. I've done that. I got a set of jugs for an Evo. They got a fair amount of miles on them, but the crosshatch looked good. I put the piston back up in there, not taking the rings out, not letting them come out, and then pulling the wrist pin and putting it back up, oiled it up real good, and I set them over here somewhere. Not those, but they might be in the back room. But that way you got a set of jugs with pistons all ready to go in case you need to do something and you really ain't got the bucks, or somebody might not have the bucks, because they might ask me or something. So, but that's how we did it on this one, rather than, I did pick that up. It was, I don't know, $12. I think it helped. I always just use my thumbnail, pushing it in around. I think it helped, but it is kind of tricky. I mean, you worry that once you put it together that, it's not, something's going to go wrong. We put new O-rings, and we put James head gaskets on there. So when we started it up, now there's a fair amount of oil, so it didn't start right off the bat. This is the one we changed from fuel injection to the carburetor. I put I think a 50 pilot jet, but I tried to adjust the low speed or the air mixture screw on that side, the air mixture screw on the CV. It really didn't do anything, so I think the pilot jet's too big. So if it's a 50, I'll go to a 48. If it's a 48, I'll go to a 45. That way, when you close that screw, it should pretty much, at idle, should shut the motor, if not all the way off, it should turn it off for lack of fuel. So used, I think the other ones out back used my off a lawnmower, so that works well. I mean, we did, first off, it started leaking like a sieve as usual. You know how carburetors are. Then we had to tear it back apart, fiddle with it. I had to set the needle, not the seat, not the needle. It was weird. I looked at the others, and the seat actually was further out. I don't know what, it's just a carburetor I had over here. And because I got quite a few of them. But yeah, the seat, I don't know if I got one in here. No, they pretty much got, they pretty much are all together, I think. But, nope, here we go. Yeah, if you look, you see right there where the seat and how close that is to the body of the carburetor, that one, it was at least 3 times that gap. So I gently tapped it and it went down that seat. So that may have been why it wasn't seating. I'm not sure. But then I rechecked the float, and it was 11 millimeters at 15-degree angle. So I made that a long time ago there. You just kind of set it there, and you set the carburetor there, and then you got 11 millimeters between the edge of the carburetor base and the end of the float, and that will that's supposed to set the angle right. So didn't leak the second time, but we'll put a fuel filter when it'd be best anyway. So we'll put the fuel filter on. Right now we got the official petcock right here, and but it ran fine, you know. Always wondering, is it going to sound different going from a big to a bigger jug? Yeah, it could. You know, I don't think we ever made a sound bite of how it was when it was 96. Now this was the bike that was in the fire, so everything, it changed the chrome a little bit yellow, so he might get some new tops. Of course, this is the one that painted, and it's a nice color. He's going to repaint it. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's you know, presentable. He had sold it to someone, and then they put the fancy lettering and put a lot of chrome things on. He had someone put that on. I think that was a couple $100 just to put this on, because they had to take the tire off. So, but, and yeah, that would be it. I done something like that years ago on my Triumph, but that's done well. I mean, that's done well. That's a steady hand. My hand is not that steady. It never was. So, well, you can still see, you know, evidence of that's from the heat, and that's from the heat. This one had, I think the big heat thing was right here. The computer was okay, but then we changed the wiring harness, and it was one of the sensors that was constantly giving us a problem. So I just said switch over to CV, and I put large jet in there and so forth. And then we use this Thunderheart ignition, which knows where the motor's at from the crank position sensor on the other side. The rest of the sensors, like the heat sensor over there, you can see the hole there. It's none of the sensors are used except the crank position sensor. Yeah, it's right up there. I mean, that's not used. The only thing you use is this, and you can change fuel injection to carburetor. And that Thunderheart has several settings, and that flashes. And then you can actually, if you, I'm sure you can plug in and change some programs there. But we just bought the unit itself. On this bike, well, I did get the exhaust on. Finally came. That was that $20 exhaust. It was pretty beat up on the inside, smashed. I heated it up, pulled it out. At least it's on this side is, you know, presentable, but it would have leaked, so I had to straighten this and make this round again and re-weld it around here. And I had really heated up and pull it out. So it turned out it pretty much sounds, being in its stock. It's hard to see in there, of course, but let's see if I got a flashlight. Yeah. Pretty much stock. I can't use the flashlight on the phone. Yeah, we go. Yeah. So it's a stock unaltered, which, you know, to me, it's like the sound of what it would have been from the factory, other than the rust blowing through it. So, oh, there you are. Well, we had some real freeze last week. Pipes are froze. For the washing machine goes out to the septic. And it took about a week to unthaw, so we got clean clothes again. And so hopefully it's supposed to warm up even to almost 40 this week. And if we can get through February, we'll be pretty good, I hope. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's about it. Hope everybody's doing well. I've been watching all those channels like Dagger and My Time and Slick, Sketchy Chopper. Of course, Ed down in Florida, he's got it made. He's in Florida. Of course, they had some cold weather. Right, Ed? Right. Hey, you got some of that Indiana taste of weather there. But, and my son said it was raining in Phoenix this morning. Well, I'll catch you guys later. That's about it for what's been going on. And, yeah, I know. I got to figure out the GoPro and learn how that thing works. I have no idea. I got settled down and you know, I'd rather work on something mechanical than electronic. But I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe. Keep your stick on the ice. And if my wife is watching, I'll be right home. Catch you later. Bye-bye.